All right, everybody. Welcome back and happy belated 4th of July. You guys, I am so excited to be back from the most amazing vacation. It's a family vacation. My son just turned 1 on the 29th, which is literally last Tuesday, and we were in Florida for the week and also in celebration of our upcoming anniversary as well. And I'm just so grateful to have the time to take out for my friends, to see my friends, and then also family and things like that. And it just really got me thinking about our topic this week in terms of what I want to share with you in connection with my experience as a business owner and as a mom. And what I want to really talk to you about this week is the idea of leverage. Okay. And it's so important to understand this concept. And honestly, it was not in my old traditional conventional ways of doing things. I remember I was taught just to work really hard. I was taught to, pay my time and then getting paid for my time. And the idea of leveraging or leverage was very foreign to me. But what I come to realize in my business, especially this past 5 years, and especially the last couple of years, is because now I'm juggling raising a family of two little ones and all of that. Leveraging especially means so much more on a different level. And I really want to focus on that today to share with you what I really mean by that when it comes to leverage. And before we even get started, I always like to share the true definition or the generic definition of what leverage really means. So according to Google, there's a noun and a verb version of leverage. So the first option or the first definition as a noun is the exertion of force by means of a lever or an object used in a manner of a lever. Okay, so that's a noun. And another way of where they describe leverage in a financial world is the ratio of companies' loan capital versus debt to a value of its common stock, or in terms of financial terms, equity. So this is the two ways of, or the two definitions of leverage as being used as a noun. And as a verb, use borrowed capital financial term, expecting the profits made to be greater than the interest payable. This is a verb to define leverage. And another definition used as a verb is use something to maximum advantage, right? So really get a clear understanding of that really means. Like there's so many different things, right? And today specifically in my business and what I really want to hone in, I wrote a whole blog with more details on the different type of leverages, but I really want to focus on two most important levers, or like way up I manage my leverage or really embrace or utilize leveraging, is specifically on leveraging my time and leveraging my personal leverage, meaning leveraging my connection. And you can read again more details on my blog. I talk about financial leverage and operating leverage as well, and the definitions of that. But for the sake of our conversation, since I really felt like I want to share this with you because I was able to leverage my time and also my connections. So that way I get to be doing what I'm doing, right? Like, first of all, when I talk about leveraging time, it's really an interesting concept, especially when you first start out or you're at the beginning stages of growing your business. I didn't understand much of this leveraging piece because I believe that I had to do everything on my own. And to be honest with you, what I come to realize, the reason why I was able to grow faster after the first couple of years is because I really understand what it really means to leverage my time. And here, before we even get into the nitty gritty of that, I want you to really understand the concept of this, that your time is limited, right? Everyone has 24 hours. And so, but everything else, like for example, if you're talking about money, and usually time is related to money, sometimes you have heard of people saying time is money. I really want you to get that is time is not equal or does not equal to money. It's even more than, or it's worth so much more than just money, because ultimately at the end of your time, if you really think about it, you can have all of the money, but there's no more time, and the value of the money then couldn't buy the time. So I really want you to shift the concept of really understanding that time is limited and money is infinite. So with that concept, you have to understand that your time is so valuable. And that really means from the very beginning, I talk to my clients about this all the time, and I learned it the hard way myself, that really value your time so much more than doing something yourself. So for example, I didn't realize, until much later on with my business, that I can hire virtually anyone, especially quote unquote, really right now, virtually anyone, to do anything and everything that I need support with in my business. And it's actually more profitable for me to hire someone rather than doing that particular task myself. So for example, if I was sitting down and designing and graphic designing all of my promotional assets and all of the promotional graphics I need to design, it would probably take me 3, 4, or even 5 times the amount of time that a graphic designer would really need, because I'm not an expert in it. And why am I telling you this is because if you spend, or if I spend 5 times the amount of time that someone would need, that will make, I'm already losing time. I only have limited amount of time, and I'm already lost the time. And the time that I can use doing something else that is worth more value, meaning going out looking for a client, or teaching a class, or doing a speaking engagement, my time is worth so much more there. So I have to be able to understand I can leverage my time by actually hiring someone. Okay, hiring someone to do something for me that takes so long, where I can do something else that's worth more value. And then I can take, for example, I charge upward of $300 to $500 an hour. I'm not saying I'm doing that for like the hour, and I'm teaching you how to, get paid by the hour, but the value per hour, it could be at least $500 an hour. That is $2,500 of my time, versus I can hire a graphic designer to design me all of the graphic promotional assets I need for fraction the amount, right? So think about that. I want you to really think about time leveraging. And especially, I don't know about you, but I have 2 kids, I have a family, I have to take care of myself. And that have really helped and shifted my mindset to where now I only do what really is going to bring value to people. Hence, that helps me build my confidence. And then that I can use that money and invest into building a team, getting help, getting support, graphic designer, VA, copywriter, and other things, then we all thrive. And that's think about that. Like, we're creating and leveraging our talents, right? Versus thinking that I'm just going to save a penny here, a penny there, doing what I really don't care about doing. And then in the meantime, being super frustrated with it. And I'm not even going to go there with depleting my energy and then being moody and all of the things that's going to take me away from doing the best work that I can do. So that's one thing that I really want to share on in terms of, leveraging time. And another coach taught me this, and I'm so grateful that she did, is that you can use your money to buy time. Okay, so that's why time is so much more valuable. You can really leverage your time at first, and then once you can understand how to leverage it in a really masterful way, then you can make the money and then use that money to basically buy time. What I mean by that is, for example, I don't, we have someone to help us with X, Y, and Z for the house, where I used to have to do that. So I get to have someone help me with that thing. Now I have more time back. and then I can have that time to do whatever I want. So you get the point. I have gotten a couple examples for you there. So leveraging time is super important. And also, it's also one of the things that's going to give you the most freedom, with your life. I mean, no matter what it is that you do, can you imagine if you have an extra couple hours for yourself, a week or even an hour per day, just to do whatever you want, learn whatever you want, pick up a hobby, things like that. Think about the quality of life that you can really have when you have more time and when you're actually leveraging your time. Okay. And then the second piece I really want to focus on as entrepreneurs, and I didn't learn this at the very beginning, was leveraging my connection. And you'll see on the blog I wrote that is personal connection is how you can really leverage your relationships, relationships with people. And honestly, I'm going through a leadership program right now and realize that I have, I still have some traits of that. I'm better at it, but I've always been a lone wolf. Like, I feel like I have to do everything, on my own. But you have heard this quote before too, like that your network is your net worth. So your connections is so, so important. And, when it comes to, it's not about just, getting something all the time. It's about, supporting someone so that someone can support you in return, like down the road. It's really leveraging your time, because you just never know how far the ripples go. And I want to say that really reach out to people that you admire, reach out to the people that that are doing what you ultimately want to do eventually, and just have a conversation. Because the worst thing, most people honestly who are really successful, in my experience, who are really successful, who are very, very they're most of them, I want to say most and all of them are very generous, because these people actually understand what it really means to be available. And but of course, the investment is that you have to leverage your time, meaning you have to use your time wisely and build the right connections, for yourself. Honestly, I wouldn't be in business today if I wasn't, in the business for making those connections with people. And then, because ultimately that's what it is. No matter what you do, what you serve, or even in a personal relationship, it's about leveraging that. And how can you be available for that person so that vice versa, we all thrive. So those are the two most important, leveraging strategies I really emphasize. And I'll talk through, the benefits of leveraging, very quickly here. But you can build your wealth. You can build your wealth. It's one of the biggest, strategies, or leveraging. But one of the benefits of leveraging is to build your wealth. And what I mean by that is so that you can really invest in your time for the future. Like the example I showed you is that you can just pay the money up front, hire someone so you can spend the money on wisely, and then have the time to create more money and then use the money to buy your time. So that's like one way of really building wealth, because ultimately that's what it's going to create for you, is monetary and the financial freedom. And then also the benefit of leveraging is it helps you grow your business. I wouldn't be able to take vacation and be off for, the whole week if I didn't, have the foundation of my team, and have grown my business to that extent, and finding it really, again, like really fruitful to have a team supporting you and to grow your business. And then ultimately, when you know how to leverage, your time and your connections, for sure. And of course, we can talk about finances as well. Is that just like one of the definitions of leveraging is you can even borrow, right? Borrow money and invest into your business, which eventually you're going to yield greater profits. So that's another way of really thinking about it. You can really get to increase productivity. You can really, instead of spending 5 years, figuring things out, by getting capital, by getting money, for leveraging your business and growing your business, increasing productivity, or whatever it may be, you get to grow as a company. So that's another, way of really thinking about leveraging. It's being productive. I know that's really ingrained in us of like, how am I being productive? But I want you to take it even to the next level of thinking about, productivity in a sense of like, can you really leverage your time? Just like the definition, with what you have, can you create more with what you have, is the whole idea of really leveraging. Okay. So I'm not going to go into detail, but I just want to call out what you can do to use the power of leveraging in your business. You can read my latest blog on this, but you can leverage your marketing efforts. You can leverage having a business plan. You can leverage, again, I mentioned already, getting capital, and then really two things that's connected to what I talk about in terms of time and connection is really leveraging your business model, which is time, right? Like I always talk about creating that freedom model of making sure that you're working your life, right? You're working with your life and then working your business around your life. So that's why I plan special occasions, I plan vacations, I plan holidays, X, Y, and Z, all the personal things on my calendar first. Then I put work in between where the open spaces are. So it's almost like, imagine that we always have been trained to ask for permission of when we can go on vacation and such like that. But can you imagine being able to put your priorities of spending time with your loved ones and yourself first on the calendar? But that's what I mean with having a really leverageable business model that works for you. And then specifically, what I want to talk about too is connections, right? Like if you're really leveraging your connection with people, you get to be, what I talk about in my business is what we call flexibility is king. It's like you have to be able to do that. So by having that deep relationship with your client, you can really be flexible. For example, you can be on vacation and they already know you're on vacation, so they're not going to reach out to you, and that just as an example. And if your kid is sick, they're super understandable, like they're super understanding, and it's understandable that you have certain situations like that. But if you can leverage your connections and your relationships in a way that works for all parties, that is a really beautiful way to run a successful business. So all that said, I just want to really emphasize that true freedom really comes by leveraging your time and your connections. Of course, I talk about other things too, but most importantly, it's time and connections. And it's all about using what you have. It's about using what you have to get what you want. Investing in yourself in turn, invest in your business for higher profits. And this, I honestly want to emphasize that this is working smart instead of working hard, which is a strategy that was not taught to me. As I talked to you already at the top of the episode, that I was taught to work hard. I was never taught about the leveraging concept and what everything that I just share with you. So really know that working smart rather than working hard, leveraging your time, leveraging your connection, and this is true freedom for entrepreneurs. So that's what I was inspired to share with you this week, as I came back from vacation and feeling super grateful to have an amazing team that supported me through this vacation. And then, of course, so much more that we have in store for Fit to Profit. But until next time, I wish you, an opportunity to really tap into your ability to leverage and see what you can create from there. So have a fantastic rest of the week, and I'll talk to you soon.